Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. It's your boy Chicken. Today I'm going to be jumping right into the patch notes. I wanted to give my thoughts and opinions. I was going to do another video for this time frame. I just didn't get the footage all put together and everything recorded. Please stay tuned. It's going to be a discussion on a couple of topics. I plan on having a really long interview with a couple of people and then cutting it down so that it's 10 minutes or less. We'll see how good I am at it. That being said, let's jump right in and get Chicken's opinions on the newest big patch thingy.
My opinion is, it's good. Video's done. I'm just kidding. All right, so I'm just going to fly through a lot of this because it's about my opinion, not the information. If you want the information, read it yourself or go watch one of those hour-long videos. We're keeping this short. There's a test server on April 9th I think everybody should be a part of. Take the time to go in there, try out the new things, and then, most importantly, submit a report. I think they have it as a bug report or an opinion report. I don't know. We'll see when we get in there. But it's really important that you say how these changes have affected you and your feelings on it. The devs have stated a couple of times, whether they're BSing us or not is beside the point. The point is that we have to do our part to go in there, try it out, see how we like it, see how we don't like it, tell them the things that we don't. Make it just a B-fest where you're given the worst. I hate this about it, and you don't say anything else. Talk about the things you do like. If you do like that now your ship is able to hit frigates more. If you do like that destroyers can do things better. If you hate that you're now too slow as a frigate. You think that, while they interceptors needed to be taken down a notch, you feel like they went down 2 or 3 notches, and here's how it affected you and what you think it should be instead. Take the time to make your voice heard. You have the power to enact any change you want in this game. You just merely have to start with the most important piece, communicating it to the people. And if you've communicated it before, then get in the patch, or get in the server, the test server, and tell them again. But after you try out the new stuff. So, us Angels Report, basically they're going to be moving around where blueprints and for rigs drop to be more in line with the lore of the game. I think it's good. Kind of forces people to go to more than one region to fit out one ship. In most cases. I think that's super cool. It really kind of encourages people to touch on the exploration aspect, even if the only thing they ever do is sit in JIT and put ships together. Maybe that's a bad example, but you get my point. Inquisitors and relic sites are affected by this as well. Also with the exploration sites, they said it was too complicated to figure out the nuances of where to put what and how the values were so drastically different. They just put everything everywhere as far as the exploration materials that you would find. I forget what they're called. They say it somewhere in here. You can read it. I like where they're moving all this stuff. It makes sense to me that drones would only be in the one faction that does drones because no other factions do drones. While the other empires do drones, the factions don't. There's multiple examples of different ships over that all use drones as a primary attack. However, that isn't the case here. The data sites, that's the thing I was talking about. Capital anomalies, they're screwing with the way that the fighters also hit people. The damage that they're doing, I guess it wasn't exactly how they're liking. Interceptors are nuts. I agree with this. I'm very glad that they're being taken down a peg. I hope they don't get taken down too many pegs. The The one concern that I have is it's going to make a lot of pilots who are full-time frigate pilots because of the interceptor, like, feel lost and not know what to do. But it's just that think of it like this. The idea is that your damage goes down and you're a little more shootable and you're less invincible. If the pegs are knocked down way further than that, then you have to go in and say something in the test server so that you can have that change have your opinion taken into account before it's finalized. Key point: before it's finalized. I don't want to lie to anyone here and say that you have the power with one simple message to change everything because your opinion matters more than everybody else. But if you say something and feel this way, then it's likely that somebody else feels the same way. And I hope that that other person also would say something, and so on and so forth. Dictors. I am happy that they're getting a buff. I got into dictors right before they nerfed them, and then when they nerfed them, it was kind of felt like it was the carpet was stolen right from under me. And so I'm happy to see them get some love finally. The shield field basically causes debuffs in the armor link too. They're saying that it's too hard to get past it. They give examples. I agree with those examples. The thing is that I don't think this is actually going to affect like how fleets work, because even in the faster fleets, the Guardian tends to be considerably faster than the ships he's protecting, or they are protecting. So I don't think, at the end of the day, I don't think that this is going to affect too much. Them dropping the resistance on it, I think, is in line with kind of bringing it closer to armor. I like the baby steps. I don't think Armor Link needed that snare, as it were, but I get it. You don't want everyone to switch to armor just because it has the speed required. Encounters are boring. Well, no crap. Stop doing the boring encounters. That's as simple as it is. Go do more interesting stuff. Yes, in more interesting areas, you can get killed. This game is about killing people. Ships. Over and over again. Whether it's NPC ships or player ships, you're killing ships. And you're staying alive. So, if it's easier to stay alive and kill ships, then it shouldn't give as much money. I support this. Go to null. You should be getting more bounty ticks. Hooray. Here's the data that supports it. Basically, it was a bunch of bots that were doing anything over 60. As a matter of fact, it was a bunch of bots that were doing anything over 40 in a day. I think this is a day. And this, I did the math on it myself, and yeah, it could potentially be a hit to income, but realistically, you're getting more money because of some other things later on down. Corp tax rates, I get why some people want to set it to 100. Whatever, you got to wait 30 days. If you're not an established corporation, you shouldn't be a bag of dicks. That's as simple as it is. And if you are being a bag of dicks, then obviously you're doing something shady with it. Not necessarily always, but close enough. They're restricting the encounters to 50. Don't worry, it's not going to affect you unless you are 0.0817% of Capsuleers. So, the combat commendation lets you double a bounty. Huzzah, free ISK. Don't forget to use it. Corp tax rate, less than 30 days. You can't do it over 100%. They made null more lucrative by taking away the 5% restriction. Some battleships are getting buffs. I love that they're getting rid of sensor strength and other basically useless skills and adjusting the ship's power accordingly. Because it was part of the ship's power. I don't consider it a buff. I consider it a correction. Because the ship was always supposed to be that powerful. It just had a pointless stat. It'd be like if I had, if your cannon ship had EM damage, but wasn't allowed to put anything but auto cannons on. It would be percentage times 0. So, but was factored into ship power. Anyway, I fly a rocket like that change. I want to see what these all translate to. I know a couple of my my Who pilots are super excited about that Scorpion buff. Faction ships. I like the Dramiels getting a buff. I think it was the redheaded stepchild of the group. I also like that my Macario will now be able to lock the same amount of targets as my Tempest. That's up to 8 from 7. I don't really deal with capital ships too much, but it's good to see them kind of considering the balance of it. This next part, though, the non-combat ships, the covert ops. 1 mid-slot for explorers to increase the success rate of exploration. It says covert ops at the beginning. It doesn't say explorers at the beginning. So I'm wondering if all covert ops get an extra mid-slot, because that would be awesome. But that's just because I fly covert ops ships a lot. I don't think that that's what they meant. So they're balancing weapons as well. It's more about balancing at the extra large size. They did do a little bit of fiddling at the large size. APOC strikers were too strong. In snipe, and not enough people were using brawl. So that's what this shows me. Also, they made missiles work better, basically longer range. And they tweaked the rifled railguns. Roke Live. They also did some things with the weapon modes. I didn't really mess around with the weapon modes too much. I do think that it's good that they're taking the time to refine multiple parts of the game in relation to each other. Like if you're going to mess with I get the idea of, you only want to change one thing at a time, but with something like this, because each piece has such far-reaching aspects of it, you could redo the work 5 or 6 times over, or you could just go through and do it slowly and once and correctly. So they've done their part, and now it's our job to do our part. Together, we are both the cook and the taste tester to NetEase has done their job in cooking up this meal, and now we have to get in the test server and try it and tell them what we think. If it needs more salt, do you need to maybe take out some of the potatoes? Like, why did you put an orange in here? This is a savory meal. That sort of thing. Armor and shields balance, I like this. It's kind of bringing them a little better. In general, if you have the C types, you're getting a slight buff to resistances, and all the rest of them suck more now. So get C types, or it's going to suck more. They also boosted shield repairers on the medium variety and small variety because nobody was using them. They are addressing the multiple heat sinks, the triple plate, the triple extender builds. Those aren't going to be as effective anymore. They are buffing slightly for the damage stuff. They're buffing the passive and taking away the active and making it take longer to click. I see how it would be a problem to have something just constantly hot. But I want to see how it unfolds. I want to see where the math lies. My hope is that while they do this fiddling, it doesn't actually affect most people's end DPS, or maybe even a buff. I know a lot of people are forgetful and don't push the damage module, so in general, I think most people will feel a DPS increase from this. This is the armor plates, shield plates that we were talking about. Basically, they're trying to take away the triple plate thing. Who knows if we can find if it'll work on a quad plate or compression. Sucks. Always has sucked. It's probably still gonna suck. We'll see. If they basically make it free, then it might be worth it. I started out as industry, and now I'm PvP because industry sucks. Stay tuned for May. The missile damage tips don't match. Of course they don't freaking match. The reason they don't match is because of the factors at play. Like, it's called paper DPS for a reason. I don't understand why they had to clarify this, but if they had a lot of people bitching and whining about it, I'm glad they took the time to say, shut the fuck up. Now we can blow up drones on a massive scale. Smart bombs are in the game. Unfortunately, they do not affect ships. It is only drones and fighters. But that's good because it's going to help us kind of control the... it's going to help us get a little bit better control on the number of resources being used so that we can do larger scale fights again and actually participate instead of it being, 1,000, where it's literally just 50, it's like 100 Dominic's on each side, but the server thinks it's 1,000 people versus 1,000 people. I think that I would be much happier, and everyone else would be much happier if we had less of those drones on the field and more of the people on the field. And that's what this module, I think, is meant to address. They say you're not supposed to use it on large stuff, but I don't know if you noticed the icons I have up. Stay tuned. Lazarus units, basically they are effing up so much stuff, they're giving us skill points back. I hope this isn't like last year, because last year I feel they really missed the mark and didn't give us nearly enough skill points for what they had messed up. I hope that the amount of skill points given is commensurate to how much people might be invested in these things that they took away. I'm not asking for a full flat skill reset, but when it takes 3 million skill points to skill fully into to skill up to 554 in destroyers, and they really screwed with destroyers and then give us 1 million skill points, it really feels like a slap in the face. It really feels like, I know that you invested all this time, but you have to buy fixing it. And that's BS. So we'll see. Corporate management. I do want to say that I think this is a really good thing. Back when I started the game, I was part of Golden Horde, more specifically Dark Horde. And our CEO, one of the best pilots by many people's recounting, had to go in for surgery and never came back to the game. There's speculation. That's the only things that are known. But in that situation, it would have been great if we could have maintained the original Corp name through this tool instead of all the super hard work that the members of my former Corp had to go through. I'm sorry, not members, the director team. It took the entire team. They were working together diligently. Anyway, this video is getting on. I've said enough about that. I just wanted to say that this is a really good step. Thanks again, everybody, for stopping by. I know that you're going to get a lot of info about this. I just want to give my 2 cents. I had a couple of people ask me, hey, what do you think about it? Hey, what do you think about it? Well, this is what I think about it. There's also some other nuances and things like that. I was trying to keep the video pretty short and just kind of go over. If you want me to expand any more or go into any more detail about what my thoughts are, just go ahead and throw them in the comments down below. Thanks again for stopping by, and eventually I'm going to learn how to look at the camera the whole time.